Hello, everyone. Today we have our second series of our investment strategies podcast. Last week we were speaking about strategies in commercial investments in commercial real estate in Dubai. Text in the chat who was with us last week. This week we will speak about residential strategies, also with added value element. So let me quickly introduce our company, and we will move forward. So Soland, in Soland, we are focusing in three main directions. First, it's an immigration consulting. We provide services for second citizenship, residency by investment and non-investment routes in European Union, in UK, in the US, in the United Arab Emirates and other regions. Also, we are doing real estate investments. We work globally with main focus in Middle East markets, Southeast Asia and European region. We work with off-plan properties, we work with secondary market, commercial real estate, land plots, and some special strategies for investment that focus on result, on specific yield amounts, and that is what we are going to discuss today. Our third direction is business setup. We mainly work in the United Arab Emirates, in Hong Kong, Montenegro, and can help our clients with asset structuring, with opening bank accounts, and other aspects of these services. Our headquarters is in Dubai. We also have representative offices in Istanbul, Montenegro, and Moscow. So if you're in one of these directions, please welcome to visit us. So I want to introduce my partners. Roman Reshetnikov is the head of financial analytic department, and he is former specialist of McKinsey, and this is very good that we can implement this big consulting companies approach to our business, which is not always it can be hardly found in the real estate business. And Evgeny Babin, who will not be with us today, but he is head of construction projects. And this is also very important that we control this part of our business process, as well as I think everyone who was dealing with some renovation or construction knows that whatever can go wrong normally goes wrong, and if you can rely on control all spheres of that, this is very valuable. So that would help us to be sure in our strategy. And now I want to speak what we are offering regarding value-add strategies in Dubai. Roma, I think I will give you a word on this part and we'll be moderating chat. So guys, text your questions. Let's communicate and make it in a live format.
Sure. So we offer three strategies for our clients. Two of them are in residential space. So those are mainly, and the third strategy is office renovation in business locations. So two strategies we are going to focus on today are villa renovations in established communities. So here we talk about areas, I don't know if you're familiar with Dubai, but here we talk about areas like springs, meadows, Arabian ranches, lakes, and some others. The entry point for those would be around 3 million dirhams with let's say, with the expected return of around 20 to 30% per year. So for the apartment renovations, we look specifically for apartments in established areas in touristic destinations like Golden Mile or JBR. The entry point is lower there, and the expected return is also lower, but not that much. So I would start, from market trends. I don't know if you have been, visiting our presentation last week on offices, but it's still maybe for other people, it's maybe important to know why we, look at Dubai, believe in Dubai market, and still, think it will grow and attract people and attract investors and so on and so forth. Why is it attractive? So I would start, from macro overview, and let me highlight where, the UAE stands out globally today. So, despite being the fact that it's already a high income and mature economy, it is growing 5 to 6% annually, right? And this is a very strong performance for a mature economy. When we talk about developed economies, it could grow like 1 to 2%. When we talk about, for example, neighbors like Qatar or Saudi Arabia, it's around 3 to 4%. So, and the UAE is growing around 6%. Uh, on top of that, it's, let's say, rapidly strengthened its position as the global investment hub. It's now ranked 12th in FDI attraction totally in the world. But what is more important, in the context of today's presentation, is that Dubai is ranking first in the number of new FDI projects among all the global cities. This momentum is also reflected in the investor sentiment, let's say. So now the UAE is ranked ninth in the investment confidence index, and last year, as I remember, it was 10. So it's improving, and but it's still right behind, traditional powerhouses like Germany or US. But I think those positions are shifting. So when we talk about tourism, people, and I think this is very important when we talk about the housing demand, Dubai has been growing steadily at around 3% from 2018, but last year was a record one with a 4.6% increase comparing to the previous year. So it welcomed around 170,000 new residents. And in only first quarter of 2025, it already welcomed 80,000 people, right? So when we talk about tourist inflows, again, we see double digits from 2022. It already surpassed the COVID levels with, around 20 million tourists every year. And also, I've got this headline from one of the articles which really stick to my mind, stuck with me, let's say. So that Dubai is no longer just a stopover. It's a place where successful people choose to live. And we see people from famous people, right? We see wealthy people from various spheres, of course, obviously finance, but also from media, from retail, people moving to Dubai, and not just for business purposes, but as the permanent place to live. And this is also highlighted in numbers. So Dubai was number one in terms of inflow of dollar millionaires in 2024. Globally comparing to all other big cities, the total number of millionaires doubled in the past 10 years, and it forecasted to double in the following 10 years. So high-profile individuals, right? They move here, and it's a clear signal that Dubai is becoming one of the preferred cities for them. So, and this broader growth trend, it also reflected in business activities. And in the past 4 years, the total number of companies in the UAE, it increased by 150%. When we talk about Dubai specifically, last year it welcomed around 70,000 companies. And this is only Dubai, so we are not even considering here the special economic zones, right? And this is comparing to just around 25-30,000 companies we've seen in 2021. When we talk about international names, right, let's talk maybe about them. Again, we see that companies from very different spheres, they're actively expanding or opening their offices to Dubai. Again, obviously, those are companies from finance or wealth management, but we also see big names from IT, from logistics like Maersk, for example. In 2025, 2026, we see some other big names who already announced their plans of expanding offices or opening new offices or even transferring offices from other countries, like, for example, Vion, which is the international telecom company, right? They are now based in Amsterdam, but they plan to actually move their office from Amsterdam to Dubai. So I actually excluded this slide from the presentation, not this one, but the one I'm talking about. That the question you might ask if if there is an oversupply or over demand for the units. So last year, the developers delivered about 30,000 units in a year, right? If we consider that, for example, an average family size is around, three people in one family, then we understand that the demand let's say, for the residential units, it's around 60,000 a year. So I cannot say that there is an oversupply of the units. So what we see on the market currently is that investors and buyers, they actually show high interest in the secondary market, and this is reflected in the following numbers, right? So in the primary market, the number of deals, yes, it is growing, but the average price for the meter is going down. You can see in this graph. So this is mostly because many new projects are coming to the market, yes, and they often look the same. It's very hard to compare. It's very hard to differentiate them, and the overall quality is actually lower. So, for example, for two-bedroom apartment, which was built in 2010, we will see later in presentation, the average unit size was around 130 square meters. The average two-bedroom apartment now is around 70 to 80 square meters, right? So you can see the difference. Also, the downward, let's say, pressure on the price is because some sellers are now trying to sell before the handover when they see that units they did not increase in the price. On the other hand, on the secondary market, we see this as, let's say, more transparent and easier to evaluate, and this is what the investors also see. And the average price has consistently increased quarter over quarter for the last 3-4 years. It grew from 13,000 to around 17,000, right? You can see on the graph. So why the secondary market proves to be, popular? Why do we look at this strategy? So number one, we are sure in these established communities that there will be no, second area like Meadows, for example, where you have unique location, you have parks nearby, you have schools, kindergartens, and all this surrounding infrastructure. And you won't see any construction coming nearby, right? And this is exactly what people we were talking about before, right? People with money, or for example, very, let's say, very skilled individuals coming to work for those companies like Revolut, I don't know, like fintech company. This is exactly what they look for when they move to Dubai. So second point is that actually those neighborhoods, they provide really competitive prices versus the primary market, right? So we can, for example, take the areas like Arabian Ranches 1 and 2, where the entry point is also around 3 million, and compare it to Arabian Ranches 3, which is a completely new area being developed with the completion of some units just in 2026. But again, the full area completion will be around 2030, right? You don't have parks nearby yet. You will live literally near the construction site, hear all this noise. You will not have, kindergartens or developed schools nearby. So those are very, let's say, different offers in the very competitive price range. And obviously, when we look at those areas, there will be low or no housing supply development, right? So, of course, when we talk about the villas communities, there will be zero supply. When we talk about apartments and we look for the, touristic areas located or like popular business areas like Business Bay, um, we have the data that there will be just around 1 to 2% of the inventory added till 2030 in this area. So there will be no oversupply, and if people or if a person wants to move in Business Bay or JBR closer to the beach, so there will be no new units available. So, and this is reflected in the annual price growth, and for some units we see it's around, in these areas we see it's around 10 to 20% each year. So based on that, yeah.
Yeah, Roma, I think we also have a question about the greens area for apartments redevelopment strategy. I think we will speak about apartments also further, but again, we can highlight which factors are crucial for choosing location for that exact strategy. Because as we discussed, like we first made the general overview of Dubai real estate market in general to see that we still have external growth factors that like increase of population, new companies, new businesses coming here, security, nice financial and business environment, and etc. But anyway, we cannot say that you can blindly invest anywhere in Dubai and earn a profit, or just invest in a plan and hope and pray for market growth same speed as I don't know, brokers are promising to you. That we try to analyze. And the strategy that we offer now, we analyze micro location specifics, and we analyze which internal factors we have in one or another location or should look for in order to choose the best property to reach our return goals, right? So let me maybe reformulate the question. For apartments, are the location factors same as for villas, or they different? Or we can identify some common factors that we need to consider to say that this area, this district is best for that type of strategy?
No, the factors are mostly the same. The difference is that obviously you have lower entry point for the apartments, plus you have more or less the same, plus you have more units available, right? When we talk about, I don't know, JBR building, we talk about hundreds of units, right? So comparing to villa communities where you just have less supply available, let's say. So the competition is yeah. So the competition is stronger for the apartments, and yeah, and you have more supply available. While when we talk about villas, obviously it's a scarce resource or scarcity
Yeah. So
resource. Let's say.
anyway, when we decide does this or another location works, or this or another apartment will work and will bring you a specific return, we need to analyze the whole period of your investment strategy. So what you are going to do with this apartment after 1 year? Are you going to resell it, to whom and at which price, and with whom you are going to compete? That's how we can define the possibility of targeted exit with a targeted price and return. And that's when we can analyze when this or another location works, what is the current demand and what is the expected demand for that. So to tell you about greens, we would need to check in particular, because actually that is not one of the targeted locations for us. For apartments, we mostly target like GBR, Golden Mile in the Palm, or some other, hype locations which are in high demand for both short-term rent, long-term rent, and final users living themselves. So we need the highest demand for final users. Although greens also can be a good demand, but it still will be less compared to some other locations that can be found in Dubai.
One reason also we focus specifically on that location is because we have an experience of working more or less 1 year together. And for some areas like Springs, for example, for different types of villas, especially like specifically, we are talking about two types of villas, which are the most popular there. We have already prepared design project with all the layouts, all the exchange, all the technical drawings that we need for extensions. So this is why we actually highlight those strategies there, because again, here is our let's be fair, our like selling point, because we know how to do it and we know how to convert it fast, get all the necessary NOC, all the approvals from MR, from the community managers. Yeah, so for the other areas, let's see case by case. Yeah.
So let's now discuss step by steps what we are doing.
Yeah, they have interesting margins. Yeah. So, but let me focus first. This is the Meadows area, but we will later talk about the Springs. But this is just easier, to understand the snapshot from the market. So this is Meadows area. They have like 9 communities over there. So what is happening on the market? This is a snapshot from May 2025. You see 8 communities, and we classified each unit by, let's say, the renovation status, right? Unrenovated, this is, let's say, an original condition. 50-50, meaning that there was some renovation done maybe in like last 5 years. And then we have renovated units where we can clearly say it's a flipped unit, for example, or the renovation was done recently and now it's on the market. So if you compare those numbers in some of the communities, you see that there are more renovated than unrenovated units being presented on the market, which tells us that those communities actually undergone the significant flip and renovation stage. So while other communities, for example, Meadows 9, you see still less unrenovated units than renovated. But again, I'm sure this picture has changed in the past 1 month. And this is exactly what is happening in every selected area, which we have highlighted as, one which is represent interest for the for flipping or added value strategies.
So that's
Yeah.
important for us to analyze how different parts of one, let's say, district, which is called meadows, and 9 meadows inside of it, how they're different between each other. Because, in one, they have a lake. Second is, more fancy neighborhood. Third one is closer to the road. And when you live inside, you know the difference. And normally people also know where exactly they want to live. They can consider only 5 and 6, for example, or maybe 9, which is less private than others. So those factors actually can affect on final demand and final price as well. And it's important for us to see the trend. And the trend is obvious that this is not we invented that strategy of buy, renovate, sell, especially in those locations which are super close to Dubai Marina, to DMCC free zone and other centers of connection, and still and they are super old. Yeah, so how old are those communities? Over 20 years. So they are actually requires renovation, and people would love to live in the freshly refurbishment unit. So those trends are obvious, and for us it's important to define the proper price and the best size of plot, the best type of villas that would work and bring the highest return.
Okay. So let's maybe look at Springs as, as the more affordable entry point, right? So Springs area is represented by 14 communities. Again, each of them has, different features, and all of those are actually reflected in our. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I see questions coming up, and they take my attention.
I will read the questions for you.
Yeah, okay. So for each community, we identify the most attractive property types. In this case, the most interesting for us are two types of villas, 4M4E, 3M So first type is two-bedroom villas with an entry point of 2.7 million. The total area of the building is around 160 square meters. The plots are starting from around 170 square meters. And what we are looking for no renovation, so original fit out, no pool. Plus, we look at some, bonus features like large or corner point, quiet location, preferably, in the end of the road or in the end of the community, plus lake or park view. Same for other types of villas in a less, let's say, affordable price unit, which starts from 4.3 to 4.4 million. Again, for each type of villa, we have prepared design project with all the layout, technical drawings. So we are ready to go. So
It was
now,
exactly a question about 2 and 3 bedroom types of villas in Springs.
Yeah.
So that's actually one of the most experienced type of renovation processes that we were dealing with last 2 years.
Yeah. So this was a snapshot again from June. I'm not sure that those units are available, but at least they're actually I've checked today. There are less and less units available, especially when we look for the extra plot size, right? So there are some units available for these types of villas, but everybody is looking specifically for like corner plots or plots of the larger size. So when assessing, let's say, area attractiveness or type, let's say, attractiveness of each unit, we look at the price trends. And so here's the price trend for two-bedroom villa in Springs, which has increased by 15% in the last year. Of course, it's partly affected, let's say, by the renovation process, which is happening. This is why when we look at our model, we include only 8% moderate growth. You will see later. So let's dive into the numbers. So here's an example of property which is currently on sale, and we can take it for around 2.9 million. So it's villa type 4M, as we discussed previously, built-up area you see here, plot size, condition, no renovation, no pool. We've done exactly the same project. I mean, the same for the same type of unit. We've done it last year, villa in Springs 15. So you see the result, right? So there was like a full demolition of the tile plus 10%, around 7% increase in the built-up area. You'll see later in some project. So the total execution time was around 8 to 9 months with the marketing period, with the listing period. So and with this type of property, which are now sold for around 4.5 million, we can get around 21% of the return for 1 year. 31% if we include the market growth, let's say. So, but still, you see it's double-digit numbers, more than 20%. So how we calculate it? Yeah, sorry.
No, sorry. I just, let's discuss how we calculate, and then we can also describe the renovation process, like how to get those permission, how to, whether it's possible to make a villa extension and to add value on that as well. So let's come back to the financial model and how we are getting to this 20% return.
So here you see all the incurred costs. So there's a property initial costs, all the commissions for the broker, DLD, administrative fee, trustee office, NOC. Plus we include utilities for the time of renovation and service charges as well. The renovation, which is around for this type of project, is around 3,000 dirhams per square meter. Some basic landscaping plus the extension for which we need to pay extra. And then the total expenses is around 3.7 million. And with the sale price of 4.5, we get around 7 to 80 to 800,000 dirhams. Then 30% commission. This is the renovation. I see the question for 2-bedroom villa, 160 square meters with extension. So then as the company, we receive a flipper commission, and with all, and the investor's profit is around 500, 600 dirhams, which is around 21% return. Again, this is not including the market growth, right? If we include the market growth of around 8%, so we get around roughly 30% return.
Yeah, especially in 2025, we were discussing recently that the market growth in Springs and the Meadows was even higher than average in Dubai. So we try to still not take those numbers in our models, try to be conservative and forecast that the speed of growth can decrease. But so we always provide several calculations, including net calculation of just in capitalization on added value on this renovation process. Also, it's very important to highlight that we had some clients that were expecting that if they're buying land plot and villa, they can do whatever they want. They can remove the house and build a castle. They can build 3 floors down and etc. and do any type of size extension and everything else. Unfortunately, here it's not like that. And the extension can be profitable and can be not profitable depending on the master developer and how they charge for that. Also, many master developers, they do not allow to ruin the general viewing of the whole district. They have specific requirements for the exterior, how the roof looks like, how the colors of the walls and so on. So our task is to make the renovation that way that it brings the profit, it attracts the final users. We follow the rules. We are not overpaying to just fulfill our dreams, but we do maximum what will increase the final value to trying to fit in the minimum cost for that. So that's important renovation part, and what we have Evgeny for being responsible for that and being so much experience. I think we can maybe describe a little bit what we are doing regarding the changing of layout inside, making it more smart, extending the windows side, and those 10% extension that we were doing in Springs normally. Why only 10%? Roma, can you please describe?
Yeah, because as I remember, like more than 10% is either forbidden or it's actually, let's say, more costly, right? So it's charged higher. For up to 10%, it's around 10,000 dirhams per square meter. If you do more, then the economy doesn't, the economy collapses. Let's put it that way. I would start maybe here, which is, how do you know that you're going to sell this unit for exact, this price? And this is exactly what this slide is for. So this is, oh, and I forgot to tell, actually, again, I didn't pull up the slide yesterday, but for the Springs, in Q1, the average increase in the unit price was 7%. What does it mean, excluding interior? This is renovation price altogether with the design project, with the furniture, yeah, with everything. So, yeah, before purchasing each property, we conduct an analysis and we look at the we look at the real prices, and we have our own predictive model for the price of each unit, which actually includes data, on the previous deals, on which is currently marketed. But this is the exact data from Dubai Land Department on all the deals for the past 6 months. for exactly this villa unit type, you can see here the type, right, on the right side. On the left side, you see the date. You see the source, which is titled it, so this real deals, and you also see the price of each unit, right? And because we know, let's say the original unit size in square feet, we can easily tell that those units were extended. So I suppose those were really the flip projects, and the average price is actually around 4.5 million dirhams. Again, based on the evidence, based on the past 6 months deals from the Dubai Land Department, right? So for each area we select, we provide this analysis, and when we construct the financial model and we present it to you, you know all the data. So and as we started, in this presentation, this is exactly why we look for the secondary market, because we know the data and we have the evidence of each trend of and let's say, and we can forecast for our investors, we can forecast the return.
Yeah, despite the off-plan strategy, here we have a much shorter time period. Like we consider 1 year, and it's easier to build a forecast based on 12 months than we were speaking, okay, what will happen in 2028 or 2030 and etc. And especially if we have a financial model that are proven for current data, which is transparent in Dubai, which we can track from Dubai Land Department, from exact deals that are happening today, and we can reach those numbers and those return by just adding value on renovation. And I see that Roberta was asking, was thinking that renovation price didn't include interior. That means that if it's also different, if you go as a final user and will try to put a pool on your land plot, it will cost you, I believe, much higher than to the company that has been doing that for several years, ordering pools, and they have better prices for everything. So also when we work with investors, we confirm all the renovation costs. We have an idea which type of cost, which type of furniture, which type of, floors and other finishing materials are worth doing in one or another project. For example, in Springs, there is no reason for us to put super expensive marbles because this is business class villas. And if we, let's say, work in Al Barari villas, it's another story, and the budgets are different. So all the models should be smart for us to be nice enough to find their final user and cheap enough to fit into financial models. Okay, that's my favorite part, renovation.
But maybe I should also mention that the renovation price, Roberto, what is included? We also do all the engineering works, right? So for the final user, again, the expat, some expat, which is who is looking for a house for his or her family. Of course, we prepared it, let's say, until to the very well condition. So we change all the ACs, we change all the pipes. So we check the condition of all the engineering systems beforehand. So it's including everything, let's say. So here you see the villa before or in the process of renovation. You see here in the kitchen, for example, the very, very small windows. Here, for example, we have extended it. So this is the result. Are we going question by question? Sorry.
Yeah, let's maybe speak about renovation part, how we do this, what is included, and then we can speak about the quality.
Okay. So here is the example of the of this type of villa. As you can see here, like in the original, let's say, project, there was this was a terrace, right? And what we actually did, we extended the villa exactly for this around like 7%. So this is what we do here. And again, we have all the technical drawings for that. We know how to do this. And also this is how we create this added value. Okay, I have apartments here. So what was the question? How do we ensure the quality while maintaining cost efficiency of the investment? I guess this is exactly what Ksenia tried to highlight. Again, because we have the whole team in-house, right? And we know all the subcontractors, I don't know, the suppliers of rough materials, or let's say some subcontractors doing special works like pool installation. So for us, there are no hidden costs. So we
And
can forecast how much everything will cost. And before we go to that process, you select the villa with us, for example, we show you the full cost estimate and full quotation, and we are trying to keep it because, again, as you have seen in the financial model, actually our revenue here is the commission you get from the net revenue. So we are actually interested in making it in the most efficient and the best way.
yeah, and that is very important part. Renovation is a crucial part, like because yes, you are right. We can think about saving the cost, not to overspend, but also if we buy the cheapest and low quality materials, that will affect the final vision and final result. So I'm not saying that we only do the most cheapest and I don't know, shitty things. That's not like that. We can show you all our projects. We just say that we have a very big experience. We work with the same exact team that already renovated more than 200 properties in Dubai over the past 2 years or 3 years, almost 3 years. And that means we know who is executing. That's not like we today decided to do renovation for the first time and we'll be experimenting. If this construction team works well, or okay, they were, I don't know, sleeping a whole week and did not implement. This is very important that we know with whom we work. We already know which quality to expect. We know subcontractors. We know how they deliver. Can they delay something, or what should be normal price? Can they increase the price by some reason? And what type of materials are work good for that type of villas? Especially in
Exactly.
springs, in Arabian ranches, in Al Barari, we had pretty much of experience and already renovated projects. And for some types of villas, we can even have ready design projects, and we can also share the delivered results with you. So like here you can see it, so it's not bad quality at all, especially compared to some others that are offered in current markets in springs right now.
And also you can see clearly from this picture that these design projects are being delivered and renovation is being delivered in a very like neutral tones, right? And this is exactly what we are trying to achieve and in this type of value added strategies. So those types of renovations are being, let's say, shared with the most of the clients. So this neutral tones and materials. Yeah. So you don't see some extra bright colors or extravagant, solutions. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
these were just examples. So we were speaking about springs and meadows as some of the most popular and well-known communities in Dubai, but also we work in many others in Emirate Hills, in Jumeirah Golf Estate, and other locations. In case you're interested in considering that type of strategy, or you have some villa or some community in mind and you want us to work on that, we can discuss that individually. And now we will move to apartments and
Mhm.
describe this strategy and our experience in added value in apartments in Dubai.
Yeah, so example like the apartment section is basically around one example. So here we try to show that there are also some other strategies where you don't just buy, renovate, and sell, but those are long-term strategies for holding the property and renting it out, for example, for 5 years. So this is an example for one of our, again, investors. He bought the unit in Rimal 3, which is in JBR, two-bedroom apartment. It's 134 square meters. This is an example from the market, so it's not the photo from the, let's say, it's not the apartment on the right side before. So this is exactly what you can buy in the market currently. It's around like 1.7 million dirhams in unfurnished original condition. What was done here? This is the renovated unit specifically for Airbnb. So what we have done here, we have extended number of rooms to 3, right? So we have changed the layout, got all the necessary approvals, fully changed, applied new finishing, flooring replacement. Yeah, so this is the financial model for, let's say, for the long-term. For a long-term lease, which would bring around 7.5% per year, again without the property appreciation, right? So it's operating profit only. If we apply the appreciation that, again, we know from the statistics, it could reach around like 20% if we quit by the year 5. So yeah, those are. I guess, yeah. So, and this is an apartment before. You can see it here. And here's the, again, the 3-bedroom apartment, fully changed layout with the added bedroom. And yeah, this one we prepared for Airbnb for the investor. This would be another strategy.
Actually, we also were discussing that Airbnb is not obligatory for now to reach that type of returns, because we can see that long-term lease also can bring similar returns, and there is not big gap between the numbers, despite opinions that short-term is much higher than long-term. It's not like that, but it can just work for those who don't want to be connected with the tenant, not being able to have their own jari on that, have a chance to use apartments for themselves, and maybe there is some more specific requirements for the apartment, like touristic location, to maybe even smaller bedrooms but bigger amounts of them. So that can work specifically for Airbnb strategy. But also, if you prefer long term, we have experience with similar numbers. Last week we were discussing return on rental for the commercial real estate and offices. So if you consider that type of passive income, also please watch our last week webinar numbers. The numbers for commercial real estate you will like.
Yeah, and maybe to add something to that, like when you're doing short term, you just paying more for the platforms like Airbnb, because they have around like 15 to 30% commission, plus the amortization of the unit will be faster because of the faster cycle, let's say. So this is our main features, but maybe we need to talk a little bit around those points, like how these projects can be delivered and implemented.
Yeah, I can tell you about step by step. So first we need to decide what is our strategy, what is our goals, how much budget we are ready to allocate, and that's how we're gonna offer you one or another solution. Actually, we can also help you to use bank financing or mortgage or like financial pledge. This, of course, will increase significantly the return based on your strategy. And in case you have an access to financial instrument, probably the easiest way is to be a resident here, but also it's not obligatory, and some banks can provide you financing even if you're not resident in the UAE. So this also we can help you to arrange, that can increase the final margin. After we decide on the strategy, on the budget, investment period, when you plan to exit, what is the targeted yield. We are signing the contract, and we normally take some down payment, which we will further adjust from the renovation. Then we are selecting properties for you to buy based on our financial models and which suit our recommended price. As Roman said, our margin is success fee. That means that we need to bring you target return, and we need you to earn after 1 year, and out of this profit we'll take our share. So our target is to find you best price entrance, because this is half of the success.
1 year or less. 1 year or less, depending on the project cycle.
Yeah, of course, apartments renovation process is faster, villas are longer, and so on. So after we find the property, we purchase that, and then we start the renovation process, and including all the certificates, all the negotiations with master developer, all the permissions, and so on. Sometimes getting those permissions can be like 1 or 2 months, depends on communities, but those communities that we were discussing today, we actually have lots of experience there, so it's much faster. Some other communities can be more complicated, so it's case by case here. Of course, we confirm the initial cost as per financial model with the client in advance. So we develop a design project, and on this time period, when the design project is ready, we can already list the property for further resale. That helps us to analyze the market, to see the demand, and sometimes we had such experience that we were finding a future buyer before the renovation was finished, and that actually allows us to even adjust the renovation a little bit to the future buyer, and once it's finished, we resell and deal done. But of course, as per our financial model, we put like 2-3 months for resale process, because markets can go up and down, and better for us to have some time in advance. So we do not expect for you to resell the refurnished, the renovated unit immediately. Normally it takes up to 3 months to resell on the perfect price. So the process is very straightforward, very transparent. We can discuss in more details individually with potential buyers. Also, many clients are asking how we can how we structure those deals. We actually also can offer different solutions. If it's one deal or trial deal, normally we just register the property on the buyer, and he owns it like always, and we just have a construction investment agreement on which the client financing the renovation, and we then receive the our success fee. But also, if it's a strategic story, when investor is repeating the types of deals, or when there is several investors that want to jointly invest, we also recommend to consider establishing special purpose vehicle, SPV company, which could be normally is arranged in one of the free zones here with the holding license, and that allows us to have several shareholders. That also allows us, gives us flexibility of how we finance this company, how we then distribute the profit. It can affect on the taxation in case you don't live in Dubai, and for you it's important in which period you're generating profit. So it can be flexible, although establishing a company will bring costs in the beginning to open it, and then you will need to renew license yearly. But anyway, for some of the amount of deals, it can be a solution. So based on each strategy, we can help with both of the ways of structuring the deal, and that's what we can help with. Okay, I see a question. Do we offer lower ticket size investment like 800, 1 million? I think for that type of budget will be hard for us because these are apartments in family areas like GVC or Al Furjan. But I think we have some experience in Al Furjan, yeah, with apartments renovation. But
We had
anyway,
experience, but not for like flipping purposes. So it was more for like renovation purposes mostly, right?
yeah. So actually, just when we need to add up renovation costs, plus we need to purchase an apartment, I think 1 million dirham will not be enough. Okay, the question, do you recommend any legal company to help you? Yeah, we can do it for you. We also open companies in Dubai, so we can help you with opening a free zone company that will suit for that type of strategy. We normally do just free zone holding license.
Maybe replying to this question around ticket size for 800, it's like it can be done through SPV if you know other investors. So
yeah, you can combine. Actually, let's also highlight the minimum budget for villas in, like, let's say in Springs, if we work with 2-bedroom villa, which is the smallest there, right? That was one of the example we had, and the minimum price on the market right now for them, as Roman checked today, is like 3.1 million dirhams, right?
No, it's around 2.8 after, you know, all
After
our
negotiation.
commission negotiations. Yes, exactly. So 2.8 roughly.
Yeah, so for villas, anyway, we will plus renovation cost, plus all the costs. So anyway, if we want to go into villa strategies, the minimum budget we recommend will be like 3.2, 3.3, right? Million.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah.
So yes, it can be done with joint investment. So for example, 3 of you can go together and buy one villa in Springs. Regarding apartments, what will be our minimum recommended budgets to do this strategy successfully?
So it's around 1.7 to 2 million, as we see from GBR in areas like that.
Including renovation costs?
Yes, including renovation. Yeah.
Okay, so starting from 1.7 million dirham, we can work on apartments strategy. For the offices, which we discussed last week, it was also around 2 million dirhams.
2.2, 2.3. Yeah.
2.2, 2.3. So
But
guys,
again, like the lower is the ticket size, the higher is the competition. So you should always keep this in mind.
yeah,
Right?
we should try to be in balance, somewhere in the middle, not go to the space prices, to the super exclusive, because anyway, the super exclusive things are hard to resell. It's not hard, it takes time. So middle price brings the best balance of demand and lack of supply, let's say.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Roman, for this presentation. Thank you, everyone, for being active in the chat, for communicating. I also see lots of private messages. Let's keep on communicating further in private. We will send you emails with this presentation. We will be waiting for your request for individual consultation, and have an amazing evening. If you have any questions, feel free to reach us in Soland, and we'll be happy to help you with all your needs in investments, in immigration, and in company setup.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Have a nice Tuesday.
Bye-bye.